that the current administration has criticized a lot for in terms of how it has packaged those who have held elective positions, both for gender diversity issues, age diversity issues, and of course the ethnic diversity issues. How would you handle this differently, if you would?
So I said earlier that effective management of our diversity is going to be critical to building a vibrant society that is productive and competitive. So managing our diversity means we have to manage our diversity in terms of religion, region, gender, age, and all of that. And so the policy should be that we want to create equality of opportunity for all. If we started from that premise, it makes it a lot easier, because then your equality of opportunity for all means that you're not going to set up barriers to any on the basis of discrimination of age, of sex, of religion, of region. So before me and the administration that I lead, equality of opportunities. Then specifically, you look at what evidence shows us, that societies that use their women maximally by empowering them as much as they empower any other person are the societies that are at the top of the economic league table. So the more your women are part of decision making, the more they are part of players in the things that society does, the more likely it is that your society will do better. Even companies do better when they have good representation of women in leadership, in decision making. So smart economics for me is going to be about including women, giving women the opportunities, making women more productive. So everything about girl-child education is huge. Everything about removing the barriers that stay in the way of women making progress in society is huge. Just working with the private sector to look at the barriers that can stagnate a professional woman, that's important. Making sure that, women can look at other women and see a strong pipeline of women who are doing well and can seek to do as well because they can see the progression. That's important. And making sure that in sectors like agriculture, we found that when you give women exactly the same kind of inputs that their male counterparts who are farmers were getting, they actually outperform the men. It's amazing. The indicators are there. So access to input, access to finance, remove the barriers. And then the kind of training in financial management that help women. And looking at even some of these issues that we take for granted now, violence against women. It's something that we must address in our society because it so totally destroys the spirit of women to try to thrive, and we have to tackle it in a multifaceted way. Then you look at the young. I mean, this is a young country. It's a country of the young. There's no way we're going to achieve productivity and competitiveness without making the young the center of our policies. So the young are going to be very prominent. I love the minds of the young. I love the fact that today's young people in Nigeria, despite failing environment, there is this resilience on their part. They actually think of themselves as people who should not be limited by the boundaries of Nigeria. And we have seen the young go to environments that enable them and really perform and come to global attention, global recognition. We're going to make that thing that was available to where they were running off to, as much as possible. Part of what my governance is going to be about is less about what money we invest into things as in what ideas. There are some ideas that don't cost you a thing. They just require you to think hard and to think smart. So the young people will be at the center of policy, institutions building. I love the spirit of the young people. One of the things that we keep saying these days is you cannot entrepreneur yourself out of poverty. And that's so important to keep in mind. But it's also going to be important to maximize the spirit of enterprise amongst our young people. We're going to ensure that the young people identify the barriers that stand against them. We will work with them to identify those barriers. I know that the 21st century Nigeria is going to be shaped by the young. And so if we are going to shape the 21st century Nigeria, then whether it's political participation or participation in economic affairs or participation in the basic way that society makes its choices and priorities, they are going to be very important.